Unicorns, those legendary creatures known for their beauty, have captured the imagination of people for centuries. When we think of a unicorn, the image of a white horse with a spiraling horn on its forehead immediately comes to mind, often accompanied by the thought of rainbows. But where did this image originate, and more intriguingly, could such a creature have ever existed? The answer lies somewhere between myth and reality. The word unicorn comes from the Latin unicornis, meaning one horn. If we look at the animal kingdom today, the rhinoceros fits this description. The Greek term for unicorn, monoceros, also translates to one horn. It seems logical to link these words to the rhinoceros, but that doesn't match the horse-like unicorn we know. To unravel this, we need to look at both history and science. In recent years, scientists uncovered a skull of an animal that may have inspired the unicorn myth. This creature roamed the earth around 30,000 years ago and resembled a massive, hairy rhinoceros. Far from the delicate unicorn of legend, this animal was twice as heavy as a giraffe and grazed on grass. What's even more surprising is that the skull, found in Central Asia, indicated that the species lived much later than previously thought. Initial studies suggested these creatures went extinct 350,000 years ago, long before humans were around to encounter them. However, this skull challenges that timeline, dating the animal's existence to a period when humans were already present. This is where the legend might have begun. Imagine being a prehistoric human, encountering a creature that looked like a unicorn. Without any way to document it other than through art, early humans likely painted their sightings on cave walls. One such drawing, found in France's Hall of the Bulls, shows an animal with two lines on its head, possibly representing a single horn. This image, known as the unicorn panel, has fueled speculation that ancient humans may have drawn the first depictions of unicorns. But the unicorn legend isn't confined to Europe. In the Indus Valley, ancient seals depict a one-horned animal. Greek writers believed unicorns lived in distant lands, such as India, and described them in great detail, despite never having seen one. According to these accounts, the unicorn's meat tasted bitter, but the descriptions left much ambiguity as to whether the creature was a horse, a rhinoceros, or something else entirely. In fact, for the Greeks, the unicorn was more like a donkey. In Chinese mythology, there is also a creature resembling a unicorn. Known as the male-female, it had a single horn on its forehead, the tail of an ox, and the body of a deer. This animal, like the ancient rhinoceros of Central Asia, was a herbivore. Interestingly, when the first giraffe was presented to the Ming Emperor, it was mistaken for this mythical unicorn. While the emperor eventually realized it wasn't the same creature, the legend persisted in that region. In modern Japanese, the word for giraffe still comes from the Chinese term for the unicorn-like creature. The unicorn myth also made its way into ancient Persia, where depictions of the creature even included large wings. Like the Greeks, the Persians believed unicorns lived beyond the known world, fueling the mystery and allure that surrounds them to this day. Even famous figures such as Aristotle and Julius Caesar wrote about unicorn-like creatures inhabiting the forests of Germany. These accounts, though fascinating, were likely based on misunderstandings of real animals or exaggerated stories. The modern image of the unicorn that we know today began to take shape in Europe during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. People of that era had vivid imaginations, and unicorns started appearing in illuminated manuscripts and tapestries. These mythical creatures were portrayed as wild and fierce, with their main adversary being the elephant. Despite never having seen a unicorn, medieval Europeans believed it was a fast and dangerous animal, so much so that it needed to be hunted. But how could one catch a unicorn? The answer, according to legend, was with the help of a maiden. The idea of a maiden luring a unicorn into her lap, after which the animal would fall asleep and be captured, might seem strange today. However, in the context of the medieval world, where leeches were still used as medical treatment, this myth made perfect sense. Unicorns were believed to possess magical qualities, especially their horns, which were said to detect poison in food and drink. Ground into a powder, a unicorn's horn was also thought to whiten teeth, among other miraculous powers. This belief was so strong that people even used narwhal horns as substitutes, passing them off as unicorn horns. In England, the unicorn came to symbolize something unattainable. By the 16th and 17th centuries, it was associated with imagination, and during the Victorian era, the symbol of the rainbow became linked to the unicorn. The first appearance of a rainbow with a unicorn in literature came in Lewis Carroll's novel Through the Looking Glass, where the creature represented purity and hope. Despite these romanticized depictions, no real sightings of unicorns have ever been confirmed. One of the most curious episodes in the unicorn saga occurred in 1663, when a German scientist claimed to have found a unicorn skeleton. As it turned out, the skeleton was a fake, made from the bones of various animals. Today, this fraudulent discovery is still displayed in a museum, serving as a reminder of the lengths to which people went to prove the unicorn's existence. In more recent times, the term unicorn has taken on new meaning. In 2013, an American venture capitalist used the word to describe startup companies valued at over $1 billion. These so-called unicorn companies are rare, much like the mythical creature, with only around 1,000 such enterprises worldwide. The most famous of these is Elon Musk's SpaceX. Unicorns may not exist in the real world, but their impact on culture and imagination endures. The mystery and magic surrounding them continue to fascinate us, even in the modern age.